Welcome back to the garage. I'm Grady, your host. All right, so Brown Santa brought me some presents the other day. I'm very excited. So let's share with you what I got and what's in store for the old Jeep coming up next. All right, to start us off, we got some fuses. Yeah, that's not that exciting about that. I know, but that's okay because we got this a new fuse panel. I'm gonna replace that gaggle of wires that you saw earlier with this, I think. Hopefully I can make it work. Because I'm also doing this. That's right, brand new rock lights. 6 of them. So the underside of my Jeep should look like the bat signal. I don't know, we'll see. It might be too much, but we have a night ride coming up and it's always fun to have lights out there. I've had several different rock lights over the years. They've all broken over the years. So hopefully these last a little bit longer. I'll let you know how they work. And last but not least, we've got some factory style switches that will go into my switch bezels of my TJ. Only problem is, well, there's the last one. Only problem is this is rock lights. That is spotlights. And this one is KC lights. Only problem is this, and I'll show you. Problem is, I've got 3 switch locations and I've got 4 switches. So I'm gonna have to wait on one of them. What I'll probably do is run my rock lights off of my KC lights for now. It's just a jumper to the relay, so it's not like I've got full load going through the switch. It's just to the relay. So I'll probably jumper that off of the KC light switch for now until I get a second switch panel over here. And then I can, have 3 more available. Of course, that'll be a future project. Always something, always something. Okay, let's have a look-see and see what is in this Nilight LED little rock light box. Rock my night, it says. Let's rock it. Let's see if we can rock it. Yeah, baby. All right, so I'm going to get the control box. Okay, so we're going to have to find a place to mount that. That should be super fun. All right, great. It's kind of big. So this is the little rubber piece that goes on the base of the light. It's got a curve on the back here that you can, I guess, mount it to like a roll bar or something. Pretty nifty. Then we got the light itself. All right. I mean, that doesn't look too bad, and it's very, very low profile, which is nice. One of the issues I had with my old rock lights was the tire coming up and hit it, and/or, getting hit by rocks and mud. So this could get hit by a rock, but the lens is pretty small, so that'd be a pretty good shot to hit that. All right, so I have 6 of these. So I should have 6. I'm curious if all the cords are the same length, or if the different length cords. Let's find out. Okay, so each of the rock lights is going to have a flat mounting rubber piece, and it will have a curved one. So if you're trying to mount it to some tubing, you'll have a curved piece you can mount it to, which is nice. And so there are 6 of them. And at least you can opt for 4 or 6, or I don't know how many. I opted for 6 just because, why not? But they are all the same length, but they aren't super long. So we're gonna need to be cautious of where we mount them, because as you can see, we don't have much wiring here. So this will be what we want to extend at the end, is this wiring, not any of this, because this is gonna be a pain to splice and rewire. So I'm going to mount them all up on the Jeep first, and then find a common mounting point for this box last. First, last, that's what I'm going to do it. It should work great. Or it won't. But we'll find out. So when I wire this up, I'll keep 3 of them going to this top side and 3 of them going to this bottom side. And I guess that's how it distinguishes the 2 sides. So I gotta remember to do that and not get them mixed up. So I don't know if that'll affect my funky music light combo stuff, and it's gotta work awesome for that. Because that would be cool. Okay, so I'm under the fender well of the Jeep. The first light I'm going to put up here, and I want it to point down like this. I'm gonna put a bracket in here, like a 90. I'm just gonna cut a piece of flat and make a 90 out of it and mount it up here. My tire won't get up in here in this corner, so that's where I want it. Not only that, I can run it with the wire loom here. I can trace that with this wire, and I can hopefully get it, or you can go this way, get it along the frame to wherever I mount the control box. And with it being in the front side rather than in the back side, is if I'm using these for rock lights in a situation on the trail, they won't be blinding my spotters. So if you've ever spotted anyone up a rocky hill climb, it's very difficult with the headlights shining in your eyes. It's much easier if the person has rock lights and you just see the underside of the Jeep, and these aren't pointing at you in the face. So I'm gonna keep that in mind when I'm mounting these, so they're actually useful for when you're off-roading at night. All right, marked up some 22 gauge so that I can mount these on there. All I'm gonna do is just cut these out with cut-off wheel, and then I'll bend it right about there to make an L, and then I'll be able to attach that to the fender so it's pointing straight down at the ground rather than at some funky angle. All right, so I have my 2 tabs cut out. It's just shoop like a yo, and I'll see about how far I want it to. I just need to bend it right here. No, that'll work. I need to make a mark where I want to bend it. All right, drill my mounting holes there, which I'm going to use. I've got some rivets I'm going to use. These are just mounts for the rock light, so those will drop in there. Go through the fender, hot rivet them on there. This will be bent. Mount the light on this. Attach our light to that. We'll be pointing down, and we'll have it mounted right up there, just like that. I got the brackets painted up, ready to install them with my pop rivets. It'll be time to mount the lights. There we go. come back and tighten those down. Now, if I don't like the way this is angled, I could bend it up. I can bend it down. I can do whatever I want. This 22 gauge metal isn't that hard. So I think it'll work pretty good right there. We'll find out. I'll go ahead and get the other side done, and we'll move into the middle area of the Jeep. Okay, so I got the back brackets made, and what I'm probably gonna do is mount it probably right up here. That way I can run the wire through this pre-existing hole and keep it out of the wheel well. So that'll actually work pretty darn nice right there. So I'd kind of like to mount it to this body mount kind of up here out of the way. And that way I can have that light in the middle. Rock lights aren't only good for getting spotted over rocks and stuff. They're also really good for, like, if you break your Jeep on the trail, especially at night, and you need light under your rig to work on the rig, they work awesome for that. So it would be nice to have them in the middle as well. Of course, I do have these already in the side of the frame. I could just make the L stick up here off of this, because these are just nutserts from when I had chrome Nerf bars. I may just use these existing nutserts. That might be a way to go. All right, let's see how long that is. How far I gotta go. It's like 5 inches. About what I need. 4, and then about 2 inches wide. All right, so here's my shape. So I'll bend it about right here. So this is gonna bend to an L, and I'll put the 2 holes here for those 2 bolts in the frame, and it'll be tucked up in the right underneath the floor of the Jeep. Should work. All right, put some tape there at the center of the bolt so I could line up where I want to put my bolt holes. And also, I cut a little piece out because I can get it a little further over the right. I can get a little farther up, which I really want to do. Come down just a hair. About like so. That will be good right there. So, right there and right there. All right. Just line that up. We'll drill a hole there, about right there, beep, right around in there, and then we'll drill another one right around, beep, there, ish. It'll be fine. Trust me. You don't have to trust me. Not required. But it's gonna work. I know it. All right, let's see how it fits. Ah, beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Yes, sir. All right, that's not screwed in all the way, but you get the idea. And it holds the light, a little rock light up there. And then it's not going to get hit by anything. And should provide nice light in this area under the Jeep. Beautiful. All right, bolting it up. Seems to fit pretty good. If I can find the other bolt. Oh, it's on there. You know, sometimes it's in the obvious place on the Jeep. That ain't going nowhere, folks. Oh, I think she's gonna stay right there and look. Tucked up nicely. Oh, get out of your light. Tucked up nicely, so it come from here. It's underneath, just right up in there. Oh, look at that body mount. Think I hit that? Golly. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to straighten that when it comes time to put a body lift on here. That's gonna be fun. Any hoots. That works out good. So I'm gonna do the one on the other side, and then I've got to route the wires. I've decided I'm gonna put the wires where my muffler used to be on that, on the heat shield that the muffler is on. Hopefully this thing is waterproof. If it's not, I'm gonna find out and I will let you know. So I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna attach it to this heat shield because I have the triangulated upper arm. So I've got this nice open space right here that's protected. And since these wires aren't long enough from the lights, the wires are not long enough from these lights to run the rear ones up into the engine bay area where I could put that box up there. So I can't do that. So I have to locate it somewhere in the middle area of the Jeep. So I'm gonna put it right there. Got all the wire ran to a central location, which is, like I said, here where my muffler used to be. Now it's going to be an attachment point for my control unit. I'm going to run some wire loom up through this because it's kind of sharp right here, so I could cut it. So I need to figure out about how much I need. Probably about that much. All right, the wire light isn't all up in my milkshake. My control box, say right there, and then we'll connect the connectors. It's a weird mounting bracket or whatever. All right, looks a little bit like a mess. I got my control box and my wires are all connected. I got the loop attached. That looks pretty nice. Now I gotta figure out what to do with this rat mess. We'll see. Give me a minute. All right, got it tucked up pretty nicely up in here. It is held securely to the skid plate. I ended up just using zip ties to hold this control box on because getting screws in here is gonna be a real pain in the butt because it's got this gap. So I was like, man, I'll just use the zip ties. And man, I do love me some zip ties. So now I gotta just hook up these two wires and send it towards the front for the switch. And then it'll be ready to light it up. All right, so we have 6 pods that are 14 watts each. So that would be 84 watts. Our electrical system is 12 volt. So 84 divided by 12. So 84 divided by 12 is 7. So we need a 7 amp fuse, a little around a 7 amp fuse. So we just want, if the wire gets too hot, it pops instead of catching on fire. So I don't know that they make 7, so we're gonna go with a 10 amp fuse and should be good. Now, in order to find out how many watts these light pods were, I had to go onto Amazon where I bought them, where it says they're 12 to 14 watts, I think they said. So unfortunately, they don't put it here on the instructions. That would be really nice to know. So when I run the hot wire from the control box to the relay, I can put a fuse in there. Keep the Jeep from catching on fire. It's always a good thing. So anyway, that's the math. I'm looking for a place to ground my control box. I'm looking for the nearest body that I could mount, that I could use. So I'm just gonna, drill a little hole in here, put a body sheet metal screw in, and then we're gonna ground it right here because it's a good spot. It's not in the way of anything. It's not gonna go through into my cab and put my passengers. I know where it's gonna end up. So I like that spot, so I'll just run the ground to there. And then for the power lead, I'm going to go to this 30 amp relay, which is running my spotlights. The It's plenty of amperage for these lights and for the LEDs. So actually I'm just going to redo this connection here. I'm going to put both into the same terminal end, snap it on there, then when I flip on my spots, my rock lights will come on. Not exactly how I want it, but it's kind of how it has to work for now because I don't have enough spaces for my switches. So until I do the switch mod, I'll just have to basically piggyback off my spotlights. Okay, so I just used a new clip terminal there, whatever those are called, and then I added this to my other power out wire, and then I added my 10 amp fuse into this little fuse holder. Then I'm going to this blue, well now, hush now, don't be getting feisty on me. All right, so then I got 10 amp fuse wire that's going to go back to the power box. So this end is taken care of. Now I gotta do the other end. Ooh, my goodness, looking a little rough. I think I need to shave. Sweating a little bit too. Why does wiring always take so much longer than you think it should? Is it just me? Like all you're doing is running some wire along a route, zip tying it in place. Maybe you put a little shrink wrap for butt end connector, something like that. Not a whole lot, but my goodness, it takes a long time. So glad that I've got that finished. I'll show you what I did. All right, so got my 30 amp breaker in here. We piggybacked off of right there, 30 amp, 10 amp fuse. This thing's only gonna carry about 7 amps. Ran it down here, went along our already wire loom there. I know it's blue wire, it's not the most beautiful thing ever, but it's not terrible. Ran it under there, followed the other wire that went to the terminal. I got the ground in here, which you can't see because it's so dark, but it's right there, trust me. We came out, and then I have it up here, right there. You can see it right there on top of my spring tower, connected to the heat shield there to try and keep it away from this exhaust. I don't want to go near that exhaust. So then it runs up over here. Let's see if I can see, there we go, there it is. Over to my rat's nest of cable. But it's so much cable, I don't know what to do with it. And I've got it tucked really nice up against that heat shield and pretty far away from the exhaust. I don't know if you can see the distance there, but it's a fair amount of distance. I may put some of that tar heat shield stuff over it just in case. We'll see. I don't want to do this again. So, although if I had to do it again, I could just replace that box. I doubt anything's gonna happen with the rock lights. The rock lights I got tucked away fairly nicely, I think. Up under the frame right there. Way up in the fender well. Way back in the fender well. I think that's gonna work. Now all I gotta do is flip my switch and see if it all works. I gotta download the app. I did not have time to switch out the switches yet because, well, I'm running out of time for the weekend. And I'm beat. I'm tired of running wire, to be honest with you. So we're gonna run with the regular switch for now and see what happens. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm just tired of running wire, so I'm ready to flip this thing on, see if it works. Gotta go download the app. I don't know if it has to connect to it beforehand or what. I don't know, I gotta figure out. The instructions aren't that great, folks. If you're looking for a product with really good instructions, this Nilight lighting is, yeah, no good. All right, let's go get the app downloaded and see if we can get this thing to dance. toss up the rock light install. I thought it came out pretty darn good. In fact, it worked really well on the trail. Night ride, trail ride video coming up soon. Do not miss it. It is an interesting one. So hit the like and or subscribe so you can come back and check out some more. For myself, Grady, y'all have a great evening.